For the first time in 46 days, the Atlanta Braves are back in first place in the National League East, and tonight they try to continue their winning ways with the first of a three-game series against the Chicago Cubs. Hi, everybody. Pete Van Weren along with Don Sutton welcoming you to Atlanta. First of three with the Cubs about to take place. In fact, the first meeting of the year between these two teams. And, Don, the Cubs, a little bit of a difficult team to understand. They've got the league leader in ERA, Steve Traxel. They've got Mark Grace hitting .353. That's second only to Tony Gwynn. They've got Sammy Sosa, 15 home runs. That's second only to Barry Bonds. They've got Brian McRae leading the league with 17 stolen bases. Normally you combine, and they got the #1 defense in the league. Normally you combine all those things, you get a lot of victories, but that has not been the case for the Cubs.
Well, for the Cubs, they are 20-24, Pete, but 15 of those wins are coming at Wrigley Field. It's been on the road where they have suffered, and here are some numbers that will show you why. They have 52 home runs, only 15 on the road, a 5-12 record. The batting average some 50 points lower on the road, and they are giving some runs up. And I'm not sure this is a good time for them to come visit the Atlanta Braves. The Braves are 18-8 at home, including winning 10 out of their last 11. I guess if they're looking for something to be positive about as they come in here, the Braves have only outscored them totally with 6 runs. The Cubs have 3 shutouts, 2 of them coming on the road, and Frank Castillo has one of those.
But the negative side of that, Frank Castillo has never beaten the Atlanta Braves. He's 0-6 lifetime against the Braves. He'll be on the mound facing Steve Avery. We'll be back to the starting lineups and all the action from Atlanta right after this.
This is your mission should you choose to accept it. Good luck.
Let's punch out the details.
Will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Atlanta Braves Baseball, brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. And by Aflac. Aflac covers the unexpected cost of getting well. Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide.
Beautiful night for baseball. Glad you're with us here on TBS, the first of 3 against the Cubs. Let's run down our Micaton starting lineup. The Cubs will lead it off with Brian McRae in center field. Ryan Sandberg will bat second. Mark Grace to hit third. Sammy Sosa, the cleanup hitter, he'll occupy right field. Leo Gomez at third will bat fifth. It's the catcher Scott Service who will hit sixth. Ozzie Timmons in left field batting seventh. Ray Sanchez, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And right-handed pitcher Frank Castillo will complete the batting order. Braves a nice round of applause as they take the field. Here's how they'll line it up defensively for you. It'll be Ryan Klesko in left field, Marquise Grissom in center. Dwight Smith gets the start in right field. Chipper Jones at third, Jeff Blauser at short, Mark Lemke second, Fred McGriff at first. Eddie Perez will be behind the plate tonight, and he'll be catching left-hander Steve Avery, who has put together 6 exceptional starts. Unfortunately, the one-loss record, Avery could very easily be 6 or 7-1. The number's still good. Less than a hit an inning. Excellent strikeout to walks ratio. And of importance to you, and maybe of interest to you, might be Avery's lifetime record when he goes lefties against righties. And I'll tell you why. Here it is right there. He has worn out left-handers. Righties not exactly killing him, although they are 34 points higher, and the home run total 10-1. He is going to see a Cub lineup that is top-heavy in right-handers, so Avery will be trying to shut down the right-handed hitting tonight. There's a look at Steve. Here's a look at our umpires. Jeff Kellogg will call the balls and strikes. He is reputed to be an excellent ball and strike umpire. The veteran Paul Runge down at first. We'll try to keep him from dozing off tonight. Angel Hernandez at second, and Jerry Lane over at third. And Pete, for the Cubs, they have played so well at home, and I just have a feeling that if you're going to go on the road where you've struggled, there are a ton of places you would rather be and rather face than a guy like Steve Avery, who has had 6 exceptional starts.
And a team like Atlanta that's playing the best ball really it's played in the last 4 or 5 years here at home during the current stretch. Well, we're all set to go. Brian McRae will step in and lead things off. Hitting .282. He's driven in 17 runs, a couple of home runs, and leads the league with 17 stolen bases. He has never stolen more than 28 bases in a single season in the major leagues, so he looks like he's going to surpass that by the All-Star break this year. And he takes the first one up high, ball one. Here's the 1-0 on the way, and the check swing foul back off the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. On Brian McRae, Ryan Sandberg will follow, and then Mark Grace. Out of play, 1-2 the count. Cubs right in the middle of the pack in most categories. There's almost one negative to offset every positive we talked about in the open. They do have Steve Troxell leading the league in ERA, but they don't have a starting pitcher that's been here all year that's got a record over 500. Count goes to 2-2 on McRae. Mark Grace, we mentioned, second in the league in hitting, but the team is 9th in the league in batting average. Their bullpen has the fewest saves of any National League team. And even in Sammy Sosa's case, yes, he's second in the league in home runs with 15, but he also leads National League hitters with 57 strikeouts. And that'll be a strikeout of Brian McRae. Put out goes to Fred McGriff. 1 down, Ryan Sandberg the hitter.
Outhouse or Castle or somewhere in between,
yeah.
huh? Fastball down low, tried to check his swing, clearly across the plate. It bounced away from Eddie Perez. If McRae had taken off right away, chances are he might have made this a lot closer at first, but in his mind, he didn't think he struck out, so he stood at home plate.
Now Ryan Sandberg trying to make a comeback this year and struggling at 204. He does have 9 homers, 19 runs driven in. He takes a strike in the outside corner.
Early in the year, Ryan Sandberg struggles at the plate, and he struggled when he was playing every day without the hiatus, but he is a good inside hitter.
And for that reason, the first 2 pitches taken on the outside corner.
That's where you want to throw him, and you want to change speeds out there, right-handed or left-handed. If you come inside, Pete, and let's say you hit the inside corner, that's the middle of his strike zone. Even a couple inches inside off the plate, you got to get it way in if you come in.
Still 0-2 on Sandberg.
Obviously, you can't live one place all night long. You want to kind of back him off of that, but here's a guy you just don't want to make a mistake on the inside corner.
Ryan, who walked away from a multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract midway through the '94 season, sat out all of last year, but back in there this year. Count still 0-2. He's 36 years old. This might be a little tough. He's struggling right now at 204. If you were 26 or 27 and did something like this, it might be a little easier, but a 1.5-year layoff trying to come back at age 36, I don't know. And he went. That's the second strikeout in a row for Steve Avery.
Boy, Avery's making some good pitches. Eddie Perez doing a good job of keeping the ball in front of him. This is where you want the 2-strike breaking ball. Down, you hope they chase it, but boy, do you ever want a catcher back there who's not afraid to tell you to bust it off in the dirt. I'll stop it.
2 gone now. Mark Grace. He and Fred McGriff each at 353. They're second in the league to Tony Gwynn, who leads the National League, as he almost always does in hitting. Tony Gwynn hitting .370 going into tonight's play. 0-1 the count on Grace. 3 homers, 26 home runs for Mark.
He's a guy you wish you could put 5 outfielders out there. Normally not much of a ground ball hitter, more of a line drive fly ball hitter, and he goes from foul line to foul line.
51 doubles last year. Avery ahead in the count on him. 0-2. Tried to nail one down the left field line, fouled it off. Still 0-2.
Grace with a good average. Let's see how he handles lefties versus righties. Much rather see a right-hander.
And very rarely strikes out. Only 13 strikeouts in 170 at bats. The 0-2 pitch on the way. That got him. Inside corner. Steve Avery strikes out the side in the top half of the first inning. And we go to the bottom half with no score.
good start for Avery. The Braves will try to do what they've been doing in this stretch. Score early. Here's the batting order. Marquise Grissom to lead it off. Mark Lemke in the 2 spot. Chipper Jones 3rd. Fred McGriff again the cleanup hitter. Ryan Klesko in the 5th spot. Dwight Smith play right. Bat 6. Eddie Perez hits 7th. Jeff Blauser will bat in the 8th spot. And Steve Avery completes the batting order. Defensively, the Cubs, some speed in the outfield. Timmons, McRae, and Sosa. Good arm in right field. Good left side. Gomez and Sanchez. Sandberg and Grace on the right side. Scott Service to catch. And making start number 10, right-hander Frank Castillo. 1 and 5. The earned run average up over 5. The league hitting .284 against him.
And as we mentioned, 0-6 lifetime against Atlanta. Marquise Grissom will lead it off, hitting .275, 4 homers on the year. Takes up high from Castillo, ball 1. And it's 2-0 now. Marquise Grissom with the Braves' victory yesterday in San Diego, defeating Montreal. The Braves back on top by a half game over the Expos. Expos play later on tonight at San Francisco. Deep to right field. Sosa drifting back. Warning track to the wall. Over his head, off the wall. Grissom on his way to second. Leadoff double to start the bottom half of the 1st inning. 8th double of the year for Marquise Grissom. And this has been a key to the Braves' success the last couple of weeks. Early runs.
Leadoff homer yesterday. He hit a pitcher's pitch there, but hit it hard enough to get it over Sosa's head. He was playing kind of shallow. That only about 5 or 6 feet shy of a leadoff homer tonight.
The batter will be Mark Lemke. He's hitting .288 for the year with 3 homers.
I'll bet you he gets into 3rd.
He will do that. Mark Grace fields. Underhand toss to Castillo covering. Over to 3rd goes Grissom. So once again, the Braves trying to execute a little of that ABC baseball. Get him on, get him over, and get him in.
And watching the dugout, he's getting the same treatment from that ball club as if he had hit a double or homer or a single. This ball club appreciates guys who are unselfish and who make the effort to move them along and be a part of that ABC plan you talked about.
Chipper Jones, .285 on the year, 5 homers and 29 runs driven in, 7 for 12 in the Cincinnati series. Upstairs, ball 1 to Chipper. Braves have scored 218 runs this year, more in the 1st inning than any other inning in the game. 37 1st inning runs. Boy, did the starting pitchers love that.
And all but 99 of those runs, Pete, coming in the first 4 innings. So just don't blow a tire prior to the 5th, and you got a shot with this ball club.
1 ball, 1 strike. There's the changeup. It's outside high, 2-1. Castillo shows you a little bit of everything. He has a fastball, a curve, a slider, a change.
Actually the same repertoire as Greg Maddux, just not as finely tuned and not as good a location. A lot of Cubs pitchers you'll see are sinker slider pitchers.
Here's the 2-1. That evens the count, 2-2.
And speaking of pitching, we want to send along get well wishes to Fergie Jenkins, who is not with the club now. Fergie had to have a little arthroscopic surgery. Said he won't be able to throw batting practice probably for about a year. He'll be replaced by Rick Kranitz for a while until he recoups him back with him. So Fergie, good luck on the surgery. Hope it went well.
Here's the 2-2. And that fills the count, 3-2 now on Chipper. Payoff pitch hit on the right side. This will get the run in. Sandberg makes the play on to 1st in time. RBI number 30 for Chipper Jones. Braves jump on top in the 1st again, 1-0.
Chipper Jones a little upset, and it's not glamorous, but it's a run on the board. Now that you have scored that first one, you either have to make 2 mistakes or they have to do 2 things special for the other club to get ahead of you.
Fred McGriff now at 353 for the year. Same 2 clubs tomorrow night with Greg Maddux against Amaury Telemaco, and then Wednesday afternoon Tom Glavine against Jim Bullinger. And the Braves hit the road for a 10-day trip. He went, says plate umpire Jeff Kellogg, in the count 0-2. Braves will see the same 3 clubs on the road trip they played here in this homestand. A little different order. Go to Pittsburgh first, then Chicago, then Cincinnati. The 0-2. Little breaking ball is going to be flared into center field. Another base hit. Ryan Klesko rounding third and scoring. And Frank Castillo's got to be shaking his head. He has made 3 good pitches and has given up 3 hits on each of them. And it's 2-0 Atlanta.
The only thing Eddie Perez had into this one was his heart and his bat, because the rest of his anatomy was headed down the left field line. Look where that pitch is. Yeah, one hand. Get just enough of it. And Klesko hustling all the way. You had to know with that. The only way he could have scored was to know right away that ball wasn't going to be caught, and he was back at second where he had a good angle at it.
So it could very easily have been a 1-2-3 inning for Castillo, but the Braves have managed 3 little flare hits. And now Jeff Blauser down to 194, 0 for his last 12.
And you know what will probably happen? Not to be the prophet of doom. Blauser's having one of those years where everything is going wrong. He will probably hit a rocket right at somebody. That's usually what happens when you're having one of those kind of years. You watch 3 bleeders and then catch all of one.
Almost caught that one on his left shoulder. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jeff Blauser, if he's struggling, Pete, he likes to see the Cubs, because Braves have a collection of guys who've done well against the Cubs. And look how many home runs Blauser's hit against them.
Hit 3 in 1 game at Wrigley Field a couple of years back. Jeff has gone back to the no-glove style of hitting. He was wearing batting gloves there for a while. Now one of the few you see without any.
The Freddie Couples approach.
Outside corner, 1-2. That's a pitch that in spring training Jeff Blauser was not taking. He was swinging and hitting the ball to right and right center field. He's been taking a lot of those strikes in the outside corner of late.
I just think you can't be sure of your strike zone if you're taking that one. I think he's moved up on the plate a little.
Oh, that one away. Still a ball and 2 strikes. CJ working on Fred McGriff's next 300. And now Service and Castillo can't get together.
Pete, this ball club in this 31 years for me around the major leagues, this Braves ball club stays into the ball game. I mean, all 25 men, more than any other club I've been around. I must confess that.
And look who's hanging out right next to Fred McGriff. Jermaine Dye was sitting right alongside him, just in case he might hear something he could use a little later.
Pretty good classroom to hang out in right there.
Into right field, line drive, as you said, Don, caught by the right fielder, Sammy Sosa. And the runners have to return to first and second. Well, that's the way it's been going for Jeff Blauser. 1 out.
4 guys come to bat. 1 guy hits it right on the button. He's the guy with the offer.
And now Steve Avery.
And what you don't want to hear right now, if you're Jeff Blauser, you know everybody wants to encourage him, but you don't want to hear hang in there.
Avery at 174. He's 4 for 23 in the air. He has an RBI. 1 extra base hit, a double. Cubs looking for a bunt from Steve. He's showing bunt. Pulls back. The pitch is upstairs. Ball 1.
Braves pitching staff with 11 sacrifice hits. Avery has 1. Glavine leads with 6. And now John Smoltz has moved into the second spot with 4.
Glavine leads the league with his 6. Swinging this time and drives the ball left center field. It's going to go all the way to the wall. In to score is Dwight Smith. Here comes Eddie Perez around third. He'll score. The throw home is up the line. 2-run double for Steve Avery. It's 4-0. This team right now, Don, is going through a stretch where they can do no wrong.
This is the kind of ball club you don't want to face if you're pitching. That's another good pitch out away from Avery. That's a pitch you want him to bunt, not swing at. And they were playing him so shallow. He drove it to left center field. Some gutsy coaching at third by Jimmy Williams. He was way down the line, had that play in front of him. He was going to force the Cubs to make 2 perfect throws. They didn't, and Eddie Perez scored. Good
now
coaching.
back to the top of the order. Marquise Grissom. He doubled, came around to score in the first inning. Takes a strike, 0-1. 4 runs, 5 hits for Atlanta, all zeros for the Cubs. Avery now with 3 RBIs in the year. One ball, 1 strike.
Tell you what, this club reminds me of the way they're playing. They remind me of that Milwaukee Brewer club I had a chance to be a part of for a month or 6 weeks in 1982.
Here's the 1-1 down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Avery around third. He'll score easily. Now the ball caroms around the corner. Grissom will waltz into second base with a run scoring double. It is 5-0. Grissom drives in his 20th run of the year.
That's probably the one that'll get the bullpen up and going. That's a pitch he's lucky that didn't get hit out of the park. Looked like a hanging changeup. And Grissom chalked the line. Some overspin here, kicked it away from Timmons and left, but Marquise was content with a double from the get-go.
RBI number 20, his second double of the day. Mark Lemke will step in. And the bullpen is getting up. That's Rodney Myers throwing. Rick Kranitz, who is filling in for Fergie Jenkins, out to the mound to have a chat with Castillo. That's a difficult thing to find the right words because he's made good pitches up until the last one. Those first 3 hits in the inning, all little flares.
That might have been the time for the trip. Right now it's kind of like closing the barn door after the horses are out.
Here's Lemke, who grounded out to first his first time up. Still only 1 man out in the inning. 4 runs are in. And he takes ball 1 outside. Low and inside, ball 2.
And what normally happens after you go through an inning like this where you're making good pitches and not getting anybody out, you try to make even better pitches and find yourself pitching behind in the count.
Here's the 2-0 on the way, and that's over for a strike. 2-1. The Braves came into this game hitting .276 as a team, 3rd in the league. But more importantly for Atlanta fans, the .276 team batting average, if it stays up there all year, it would be the highest Atlanta batting average in Atlanta Braves history. .272 was their highest average ever in 1983. So all you folks who during the wintertime were wondering what would happen with all this good pitching if the Braves hit this year, what you've seen the last 2 weeks is what would happen. This team won't lose very often.
And obviously it's not going to stay that way the whole year, but there is enough balance and enough weapons on this ball club that this is fun to watch, but you don't have to have it this way all year to win.
Well, and they proved that last year by finishing 13th in the league in hitting and winning their division easily and going on to win the World Series. Full count 3-2 on Lemke.
I think Bobby's been working out a lot, and I also think he's coming out early and getting some sun at the park, isn't he? He looks tan and relaxed. That's easy to look tan and relaxed when your ball club is playing like his is.
And down to first with a walk goes Lemke. So now the inning really beginning to unravel on Castillo. Runners are at first and second, still only one out. The eighth man to bat in the inning is Chipper Jones, who grounded out to second, driving in the first Atlanta run in the first inning. He takes a strike, 0-1. One ball, one strike. Grissom at second, Lemke the runner at first with one out. A ball and two strikes now on Chipper Jones. Just missing inside. 2-2 the count.
Long way to go yet in the ball game, but if you're looking for something to feel good about, the Braves are 26-1 when they score 4 or more runs.
Here's the 2-2. And the count runs full now, 3-2. Chipper's working on that goatee again.
I also think that corn planter missed a few spaces there because that is not a full-grown crop.
Chipper's 24 right now. By the time he's 27, though, that's going to look pretty good. High and deep to left field. Timmons to the track, to the wall. It's gone. 3-run homer for Chipper Jones, and the Braves lead it 8-0. Home run number 6. RBIs number 31, 32, and 33 for Chipper Jones. 7 runs in the inning.
And you can't leave him out there any longer. You can see that Frank Castillo a little bit afraid to throw it over the plate. And even when he makes good pitches, that is not a strike. But Chipper Jones hit it so well the other way, that ball carried into that corner. Right there where Bobby Cox said there's a Bermuda Triangle that just sucks the ball out of the ballpark. And Chipper Jones ends up with his 6th home run, and he now has 33 RBIs.
Braves leading it 8-0. And Rodney Myers will take over for Chicago.
Fred McGriff right in the heat. Mark Grace in the middle of it there, too. But Tony Gwynn still on top of it. Piazza, Grizzolanic, and Jeff Bagwell off to great starts.
Biggest inning of the season for Atlanta. They had a 6-run inning on April 3rd against the Giants. Now a 7-run inning here in the second against the Cubs. And all 8 of the runs scored in this game off Castillo, who worked only an inning in the third, allowed 7 hits, walked 1, struck out 1. Fred McGriff, the hitter, he struck out in the first inning. He's the 9th man to bat. facing Rodney Myers. You see the numbers on him. He was drafted from the Kansas City Royals organization during the winter out of the University of Wisconsin. First pitch to McGriff, hit on the ground to Grace at first. He flips to Myers covering. And there are 2 outs. And now the man that started the whole thing, Ryan Klesko, blooped the single into center field to start this 7-run second. Rodney Myers, 6'1", 200 pounds. He's 26 years old, out of Rockford, Illinois. Pitched for 3 years at the University of Wisconsin, and for the last 6 years in the Kansas City Royals farm system. 12th round pick of the Royals back in 1990.
He's out of Rockford, got to play minor league ball in Rockford, and now in Chicago. That's got to be a kid's dream growing up in that area.
1-0 pitch down the left field line, but foul. And it's even now. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's averaged close to a strikeout an inning in his minor league career, Pete. Definitely a power pitcher.
2 men out in the inning. Two and 1 the count now on Klesko. 8 runs, 7 hits for the Braves. All zeros for the Cubs. We're only in the second. Count goes to 3-1. You have an outing like Castillo had, of course, does not help your earned run average. It was high to begin with, 5.13. Castillo leaves with an ERA of 6.33. Jumped over a run. Another ground ball to first. Grace has it. Myers again covers, and Myers comes in and restores order. But the Braves have their biggest inning of the year, scoring 7. A Chipper Jones home run, the key blow. We go to the third, 8-0 Atlanta. Hitting only 121 this year. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Still a little early to go into your coast mode. If you're a pitcher, you want to make good pitches, but you don't have to pitch as though it were 0-0 or 1-0 ball game.
Little tap to third. Chipper Jones fires across to first. Steve Avery is now retired 7 straight. That'll bring up the shortstop, Ray Sanchez. Sanchez having a off year offensively, hitting just .211 with a homer and 6 RBIs. It's a lifetime .275 hitter in the major leagues. Hit .278 last year, .285 a couple of years ago.
Good range. I've always liked this guy, and I've always heard Brave scouts speak very highly of him.
Count goes to 2-0. Two and 1 the count now on Sanchez. That just missed. 3-1.
He's becoming a much more selective hitter, too. Last year, all year long, he walked 14 times. He's already walked a dozen times. That's only going to help that batting average of his. Getting better pitches to swing at.
This one out of play. Full count now, 3-2. The 3-2 pitch also fouled off. Still 3-2 on Ray Sanchez. Pitcher Rodney Myers on deck. First hit of the game for the Cubs as Sanchez lines one into right center field.
And getting Avery to throw some pitches got him that base hit. If it had been the Ray Sanchez of old, he would have jumped at the first pitch anywhere in the neighborhood, probably would have made an out. But he got the count to 3-2. Avery wanted to throw a strike with an 8-0 lead. Result, a base hit for Sanchez.
That'll bring up Rodney Myers, who came on in relief in the last inning. Only his second major league at bat. He is 0 for 1. Fouled away, still 0-1. 1 out. Braves got a run on the first, 7 in the second. Cubs just picked up their first hit. Nothing in 2 now on Myers. Well, he got him to chase one about letter high. He fouled that one off. That one was up about shoulder high. Where do you think this one's going to be?
Either cap bill high or in the dirt. If it's a breaking ball, it'll be right on top of the plate.
It is, and he is gone. Strikeout number 4.
Be surprised how many pitchers watch a hitter like that. If a guy doesn't want to, if a guy doesn't swing at strikes, there is absolutely no reason to throw one over the plate.
Back to the top of the order now, Brian McRae. He was a strikeout victim in the first when Avery struck out the side.
What a good changeup. You know what I'd like to see Steve do now? He's got an 8-0 lead, but not totally abandon the slide step. It's become a very important part of his pitching mechanics with runners on base. Every now and then, just kind of work it in so that you keep remembering how to do it.
That's on the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brian McRae.
I've heard pitchers say that if there's a hitter that they have a lot of success with, sometimes they'll get ahead of him and then work on maybe the pitch that they want to use for the next guy, or one that they haven't had as much success with.
Good block by Perez, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 on the way, and he missed low. Full count now, 3-2 on McRae. The runner at first, Sanchez, will be taking off with 2 outs.
A little quarterbacking for Eddie Perez there. You see him reminding the infielders he's going to be on the move. If it's hit to you, the safest play is at first. He was pointing toward McGriff.
Runner going, 3-2 pitch, little tap to third. Chipper Jones has it across to first in time. So nothing doing for the Cubs. They do pick up their first hit. We go to the bottom of the third. 8-0 Atlanta.
Busch Series Red Dog 300. Sunday, 5 o'clock, NASCAR's Coca-Cola 600. During both races, TBS will be online with Buddy Baker and Phil Parsons. And the internet address can be seen right there on the screen. So if you like automobile racing, we got 2 good ones for you.
Braves leading at 8-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Dwight Smith, who had a base hit and scored in that 7-run second, leads off here in the third and takes ball 1. Two 2-0 the count. All the way to the backstop. Count goes to 3-0. Three and 1 now on Dwight Smith.
I have a project for you, Mr. Van Leeuwen. Explain to me, and you and I both watched a lot of baseball, why it is you have a guy like Castillo, who for the most part is making good pitches. He is just getting hammered. Here comes a guy who's just reaching back and throwing it down the middle. And the Braves haven't hit one hard and haven't had any real good swing.
Watch batting practice carefully someday. If any of you fans ever get out here early enough to watch batting practice, pull out a piece of paper and pretend you're keeping score. And watch those guys hitting those 60-mile-an-hour fastballs. See how many of them you think would be caught and how many would be base hits. You'd be surprised how many are going to be outs.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah, there are a lot of home runs, a lot of balls hit way up into the seats in batting practice, but a lot of D's, too. One out.
I think that Myers and Mark Grace have a shared assist clause in their contract. 3 hitters and 3 of them going first to pitcher.
Eddie Perez drove in a run with a base hit in the 2nd inning. That's true, though. You look at guys in batting practice, and all the batting practice pitchers are trying to do is get the ball over the plate,
right,
for the most part, and not a whole lot on it.
And so many times you have a pitcher who would come in throwing exactly like Castillo,
yeah,
and it's just the change in the rhythm. Bet you Perez doesn't take the first pitch.
Well, I'll bet you the Statue of Liberty is just off the New York coast, too.
Still there?
Yep. 0-1 the count on Perez. Jeff Porter into his seamstress mode. Didn't take the second one either. The count 0-2 on Perez.
I think Eddie's hitting instructor is Rafael Belliard. If it's between the on-deck circles, I got a shot at it.
Hitting .375 for the year now with that first base hit tonight. Fouls that one off. Still 0-2.
He'll take some aggressive cuts till he gets 2 strikes, but he has a good knowledge of the strike zone. He goes into a little bit of a different mode when he gets 2 strikes on him.
One ball, 2 strikes on Perez. In the air, deep left center field. Timmons on the run. So is the center fielder McRae. It's McRae crossing in front of Timmons, making the catch. 2 men gone. And now Jeff Blauser, who lined out hard to right, his first time up. The ball and no strikes on Blauser. 8 runs, 7 hits for the Braves. No runs, 1 hit for the Cubs. There have been no errors in the game. Two and nothing to count. High and deep to left center field. Timmons back to the wall. This ball is gone. Home run, Jeff Blauser. And that makes it 9-0. That's his 5th home run of the year, his 14th RBI.
And a positive reception behind the Braves dugout. They're all on their feet. They're cheering for Jeff. He has a lot of friends and fans here. Gets a pitch he can handle. Up, right down the middle. He hit it so high you wondered if it was going to carry, but it got over with a little to spare, and Blauser can now say I've hit 2 on the nose and have something to show for 1 of them.
Now Steve Avery had a 2-run double his first time up. Comes up empty, 0-1. So the Braves have scored in each inning. A run in the first, 7 in the second, 1 here in the third, 9-0. Sharply hit towards second. Sandberg gets to it. And that's all for Atlanta. But the beat goes on. This time a Jeff Blauser home run. 9-0 Atlanta as we go to the 4th.
A 9-run lead for me to hold. I think I can do that. Avery starts it off with a strike, and the question is, can Avery do it? And I think you're in good hands. Sandberg, Grace, and Sosa. First 3 due up, top of the 4th. Tapper toward short. Blauser gets tested right away. Good play. One thing about Sandberg, he still gets down the line in a hurry.
Again, there, Don, Steve Avery made the pitch that you were talking about that you want to make on Ryan Sandberg. Get him to reach for something.
Yep.
That pitch was away.
Here's Mark Grace. The Braves do such a good job of defensing everybody. They always move them around according to where a guy has hit the ball most of the time. Jimmy Williams responsible for placing. Jimmy Guadagno puts the charge together. A strike to Grace, but I have a feeling with Grace, you just, all right, you guys pick a spot you like. Because if you look at a chart on him, he just wears out left field, left center, right field. That's down the left field line. Over near the bullpen, good hustle by Klesko. 3.7 on the slide, but a little bit short of the ball. Again, Avery ahead of the hitter, 0-2. There you are. More than half of his hits the other way. Count even at 2-2 to Mark Grace. I think he signed a one-year contract to come back here. Did he sign a multi-year or?
I believe it was just a 1 year. We can look it up.
Because I think he had some other options, and he was.
Yeah, just through this year. He has an option for next year, and then the club has the option in '98.
So he has to come back for next year before the club gets to exercise.
Right.
That's a pretty good trade-off there. So what he can say is, I want to see what kind of direction we're going in, and if we are going in a direction that looks like we're committed to winning and with the people, I can come back. If not, out of there. That's hammered down the right field line. It's going to be a fair ball. Probably extra bases. Grace down by 9. Will be content with the double. Second hit of the night given up by Steve Avery. And Grace with another 2-base hit.
He had a league-leading 51 of these last year. This will be his 13th double of the season this year. Just did stay fair down the right field line, and that showed you just what Don was talking about. How he hits the ball to all fields. It came right after a pitch where he fouled one off down the left field line.
Braves leader in doubles is McGriff with 11. So Grace is at second for Sammy Sosa. He had one back up the middle, and Avery got a glove on. Blauser completed the play. First one is outside, 1-0. Middle speed hitter is Sammy Sosa. By that I mean if you just spin that breaking ball in there for a strike, he'll hit it. He'll chase high fastballs, and he'll chase anything out of the strike zone once you get ahead. And Avery gets the count even with the change. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the 4th, 9-0 Braves. 7-run second. Sosa has 33 RBIs and 244, but not a whole lot of damage done with runners in scoring position. Avery just toying with him now. Change up away, breaking ball in the dirt. One and two. Avery wants Perez to run through the signs again. They're using the sequence of signs, the combination with the runner at second. You could peek in and steal the signs if you just use one. Look like the change up a little bit outside, 2-2. Hot night here in Atlanta, but a good night to pitch because the last 3 days, although they've been warm, there really hasn't been a whole lot of humidity. It's been comfortably hot. Down and in, full count. Still don't have to throw him a strike. Well, you want to get a strike, but you don't have to throw it down the middle of the plate. Sosa has walked 11 times, struck out 57. Make it 58.
Tell you what, he is on a pace to strike out 200 times this year. 58 strikeouts, and this is only 181 at bats. Good pitch.
Good curveball. 2 gone in the inning. Leo Gomez is the hitter. Gomez first time up, grounded to Chipper Jones at third, second out of the inning. It was his first look at Steve Avery. Second look off the end of the bat. Should be an easy play for Avery. A little overhand toss to McGriff. Avery gives up the double to Mark Graves and nothing else. Leaves him stranded at second. To the bottom of the fourth, it's still Braves 9. Effect getting shut out.
Runs in both the American League and the National League, and here are the names of those three. Fred McGriff, Chili Davis, and Eddie Murray.
And there is Fred McGriff, who hit his 300th over the weekend. Marquise Grissom to lead it off. Braves half of the fourth. He is 2 for 2, a pair of doubles. He has scored 2 of the 9 runs. Chipper Jones has 4 RBIs. Avery has 2. Good night all the way around for the Braves. That's back our way. And the count evens at a ball and a strike to Marquise Grissom. His average now up into the 280s with 54 hits. His goal, I think you've heard us say it before, he made it very clear this spring. He wants 200 hits, and he is right there on the schedule. 1-2. Doesn't get it this time. Good pitch there by Myers. He picks up his first strikeout. 1 gone.
That's what happens when you get ahead in the count. You're ahead in the count 1-2. Sometimes you get a hitter to chase a pitch like that. Behind 2-1, he's taking every time. That was not a strike, but Grissom behind in the count went after it.
Mark Lemke's had 2 good at bats. One won't show up in the scorebook tomorrow, but he got Grissom around to third in the first inning on a roller like this to Sandberg. This time it's the second out in the inning, and he walked and scored back in the second. Quickly 2 gone here in the fourth inning, and Chipper Jones, the hitter, he's grounded to second and hit himself a 3-run homer. Did I miss a fad that has come into being, or which it really doesn't surprise me? I've missed them all except the lava lamp. What is with all the Dr. Seuss hats at the ballpark lately?
That's been a fad. I've noticed that too.
I mean, the cat in the hat and all different kinds of colors. We see them all over the ballpark. There's one right down below us here tonight, and I just noticed it. Well, it really has nothing to do with the ball game, but it just seemed like an opportune time to bring it up. 2-0 to Chipper Jones. 9-0 ball game. You think of a lot of things you don't normally think of. Chipper now with 33 RBIs, the batting average just shy of 290. And the count 3-0. Normally Bobby Cox gives him carte blanche 3-0, but I think up by 9 it would be the... See, there it is.
Well, I guess when you get tired of wearing your baseball cap backwards, you have to think of something different.
Dr. Seuss and the cat in the hat. But I've seen a lot of them. That's not an isolated case. Chipper Jones takes strike 2, full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes. That's out of play. So if sales increase, remember it's Van Wieren and Sutton when they make out the royalty check. Another payoff pitch to Chipper Jones. Hammered to right field. On the run is Sosa. He'll have to play it on a hop. That's going to be a long single for Chipper Jones. And the 9th hit of the night for the Braves.
Talk about Fred McGriff being one of those 3 players with 100 or more home runs in each league, Don. He had 125 in the American League. He has 175 now in the National League, 91 of them with Atlanta. But you look at his record all the way back to the beginning, and the year that really stands out for him is his very first year, 1981. Talk about an organization not giving up on a guy. Played at Bradenton in the rookie league, hit 148, no homers the entire season.
about that trade he was involved in that sent him from New York to Toronto? Look at some of the names going the other way and with him.
He went with Dave Collins and Mike Morgan for Dale Murray and Tom Dodd.
A little bit one-sided there. 1-1 to count. Fred, the only guy in the lineup tonight who hasn't had a chance to go down to first base, other than defensively. Chipper Jones with 4 RBIs tonight. That's the second time he's done that this season. He's done it. It's his career high. Actually, he's done it 3 times now. And will probably do it many more times before his young career is over. Out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fred's been involved in some trades involving some high-profile people. That trade that's in the San Diego. Alomar and Joe Carter. It's a pretty good package. Out of play. He's still alive. It's still 1-2. Did he go? Probably not even going to ask. That'll leave it at 2-2. He'll remember a lot of days in his career because he's had a lot to remember, but I bet you he'll remember his first day here.
Oh, I bet he will too. That was the day of the fire.
He joins a number of us who will remember that for a long time.
I'll never forget it.
Yep.
That whole section had to be rebuilt.
Yeah, they got hot in a hurry. To right field, headed for the corner. Fair or foul? It's a foul ball. Home run distance, but about 15 feet to the right of the foul pole.
This pitch was way down and in on McGriff. This is not the usual swing you see from Fred McGriff.
It's the one you see when he's 9.5-degree driver, but that's about it. Still 2-2. Make it 3-2. Full count. With nobody out or 1 out, Chipper Jones would stand pat at first, up 9-0, but 3-2, 2 outs. Chipper Jones will be on the move. To right field. It's not going to hold this one. That one is fair, and that one is gone, and it's 11-0. Now everybody in the lineup has been to first or has at least passed it on the way around the bases.
In fact, everybody in the lineup has been all the way around the bases at least once. Just missed one on the previous pitch. Myers got this one a little bit more out over the plate. That's the result. Home run number 12, RBIs number 41 and 42 for Fred McGriff.
A jackaroo of a homer, you might say. Bases clean. Here's Ryan Klesko. He has a single, scored a run, and is grounded to first. He's grounded to second now. Sandberg is there. The toss to Mark Grace. That'll end the inning, but not before the Braves put a 2-spot on the board. One swing of that man's bat. McGriff now with 42 RBIs, and the Braves with an 11-0 lead.
Atlanta Braves baseball, brought to you by the
Braves. Tyler Houston will occupy first base for the rest of this ball game. Avery's first pitch hit in the air to right field. Dwight Smith has a bead on it, and the first one goes quietly. Well, Avery
himself number 1, but it's scary how good this team's playing.
He blistered that double into left center to help himself. That was back in the second inning when the Braves scored 7 times. They've scored at least once in every inning, and Dwight Smith will start the 5th. Dwight's 1 out of 2 tonight. It's 1 to Sandberg. Should be an easy play, and is 1 out. Rodney Myers got 2 quick outs in the 4th inning, and then Jones single and McGriff homered for a couple. Eddie Perez had a base hit in that big second inning, drove in a run. Also hit the ball deep to center. He's 1 out of 2 and very aggressive at the plate. And Bobby likes that about him when he's in there. Good breaking ball for a strike. Breaking ball again, chopped high to Gomez, who throws him out, 2 away. Was it Myers throwing from the stretch with nobody on base last inning?
I think he was.
Working from the windup now.
Well, give him a little work each way.
Yeah. Keep him guessing. Jeff Blauser has hit the ball hard twice tonight. He lined to right, homered to left. His 5th home run of the year.
And his 14th against the Cubs in his career, more than any other team.
One and 1 the count. This will probably be Myers' last inning. His spot due up first in the top of the 6th inning. Hard thrower. Has recorded 1 strikeout tonight to give him 15 strikeouts in 19 innings. Jim Brueggemann in his 2nd year with the Cubbies. He walked him with 2 out. That'll bring up Avery. That's the first walk issued by Rodney Myers. Avery tonight has a double, 2 RBIs. He's 1 for 2. And a pinch runner for Jeff Blauser. He'll get the rest of the night off as Rafael Belliard's going to get a little playing time. His quadricep muscle just about 100% finally. One and 0 to Abe. One thing that surprised me about his double was the way the Cubs were playing him. Shallow and over to left field like a flare hitter, like a pitcher who rarely made contact.
You got to give Bobby Cox a little credit on that play, too. He showed bunt once, knowing then you'd get the fastball, and got it, and 2-run double the result.
That's it pretty well, but Sandberg there to plug up the hole. Throws him out. The inning comes to an end. The Braves shut out this inning for the first time tonight. No runs, 1 left. We go to the 6th. 11-0 Braves.
And all Atlanta. Boy, they can type that fast.
Yeah,
Jumps up there.
Just amazing.
82 words a minute now. There's your Budweiser game summary.
A couple of changes for the Braves. Jermaine Dye takes over in center field to give Marquise Grissom the rest of the night off. Belliard at shortstop, and Jose Hernandez will pinch hit for Rodney Myers and sends the first pitch down into the bullpen. Yeah, it is in the bullpen. I thought it was going to stay in play for Dwight Smith for a second, but it's out of play. 0-1. Hernandez hitting .203, no homers, 5 RBIs, 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter. Just missed the corner. 1-1. Veteran Doug Jones, who was throwing last inning, warming up again, and it looks like he'll come on in the Braves to face the Braves in the bottom of the 6th. Hernandez bounces that one off his body. 1-2 the count. Steve Avery has been on the corners tonight. He's had a good breaking ball and a lot of runs to work with. There's a good breaker again. Hernandez down on strikes. And that's number 6 for Steve tonight.
He has had an excellent curveball tonight. That bounced on the plate.
A lot of funny swings at it, too. One by Brian McRae to start the game. Steve struck out the side in the first. Brian's in a slump. 5 for his last 34. Sends that one out of play. Odd thing about his at-bats, though, Cubs have not seen that many left-handed starters. Brian's a switch hitter. Coming into play tonight, 162 at-bats left-handed. Now only 21 at-bats right-handed.
Now, John Sherholz said something really interesting. We were talking yesterday. It's something I had never known before.
0-1 pitch off of Avery's glove. Belliard or Lemke. It's Lemke. And they got him. I didn't think Lemke would have a chance from that angle, but good quick release.
McRae really struggling. He hit this ball sharply. You'd think you'd have a hit, but no such deal. A quick job of unloading, and he got just enough on the throw to get his man. Good stretch by Houston, too. But he was talking about this kid. We were talking about Chad Fox, who pitched so well, struck out 9, 8 shutout innings yesterday. Said his curveball is too good. That it's such a good curveball that the umpires don't give him the pitch. That's almost the way Avery's curveball is tonight. If they lay off, it's going to be a ball. But so they're trying to. He said Flash Gordon over at Kansas City had the same problem. Unhittable, but they never got the strike call.
Because of the angle.
Because it came right over the top.
Straight over the top. Ryan Sandberg is 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out, grounded out, hits a flare into shallow center. Jermaine dives and came up with the catch. Nice play by the kid out in center field. A 1-2-3 inning for Avery. He has retired 8 in a row since the double by Mark Grace. And we've played 5 1/2. The Braves doing it all tonight. County Stadium, and as you can see, the Braves are having some fun again tonight. Last year, the Braves scored double-digit runs in a contest 6 times. This year, they've already done it 7 times in the first 44 games. New pitcher for the Cubbies, 38-year-old Doug Jones, who makes his 20th appearance. He's 1-2, a 4.87 ERA, and a couple of saves. League hitting .317 against him. But a good test here for Jermaine Dye and Tyler Houston, who will be hitting in the cleanup spot, because this guy throws a lot of changeup. It'll be interesting to see if these young guys can stay back and wait. Jermaine did and hit the ball right on the nose, but McRae plays deep and he hauls it down on the warning track. Jermaine Dye showing a little strength there. In fact, that's Jose Hernandez out in center field now. He takes over for McRae, and Doug Jones apparently inserted into the leadoff spot. So make that change in your scorebook. That brings up Lemke, who's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Lemke hitting .357 over his last 10 games. Soft line drive into center, and that's going to drop in front of Hernandez. Tell you what, the Braves have been wearing off the paint on the end of the bats, haven't they?
They have. They've been a little lucky tonight. But we were talking on radio, folks. Sometimes you're too close to the forest to see the trees. This is a really, really good team, maybe a great one.
I've always talked about how hitting is contagious, and everybody's got the bug right now, including this guy. 4 hits yesterday. Chipper with 2 hits today, 2 out of 3 with a homer and 4 RBIs.
That's scary. Good grief.
And you know what? I would have guessed that Fred was hitting over 400 in the month of May.
Just
killing it.
He's just hitting the ball so hard and so far.
1-1 the count. Fastball upstairs. Got a little shift on almost for Chipper here. Leo Gomez, a third baseman, playing almost over in the shortstop spot, and Sanchez cheated up the middle. Change up, hit that way, but Gomez knocks it down, can't come up with it. How about that? It almost beat the shift. In fact, they get a base hit because of it. And if Gomez doesn't get a glove on it, it's a double.
Yeah, he makes an outstanding play here just to get leather on this ball. Look at the ground he covered. Had it in the webbing, but couldn't hang on.
You know what? I'm not sure, but Chipper may have been trying to do this.
I think he was.
He really took an exaggerated inside-out swing at that pitch. And here is Tyler Houston, his first at bat tonight. He's coming on from a grip. And takes the first pitch. 1-0.
Another look at that swing. Yeah, he was.
He wasn't trying to pull that ball at all. Directed it to third. And Tyler Houston sends a drive to deep right. Back goes Sosa. Gone. First big league homer for Tyler Houston. 14-0 Atlanta. He waited on the changeup. And you can smile now, Tyler.
He nailed this baby. Jones never turned around. He knew exactly where that one was bound.
14-0. Fourth home run allowed by Doug Jones in 20 innings. Ryan Klesko takes the strike. He's 1 out of 3. Oh, and 2. That's pretty good night out of that 4-hole, no matter who's up there. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs combined. Out of play, 0 and 2. They get 5 RBIs. That was a 3-run shot. Just missed inside. 1 and 2 to Ryan, who was 6 for his last 15 with a couple of homers. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says Jeff Kellogg. 2 out in the inning. First strikeout for Jones. And a wise idea there by Ryan. As much as you'd like to turn around and say, oh, I didn't go after that pitch, when it's 14-0, it's best just to save it for another day. Dwight Smith takes one for a strike. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Everybody in the lineup that started has a hit. Houston has joined that list, and Jermaine Dye, line to center, was robbed of a hit. 1 and 2 to Dwight Smith. Change up, loop toward left. But Timmons is there, and he's got it. The inning comes to an end. The Braves get right back on the scoreboard after getting shut out in the 5th. A 3-run homer by Tyler Houston. We go to the 7th. Braves by 2 touchdowns. You can hold it as we go to the 7th?
If I can't, I should be ashamed.
Take her away, Skip.
Mike Bilecki begins to throw in the Atlanta bullpen. This will probably be Steve's last inning of work. And Mark Grace leads it off. He's 1 out of 2, his 13th double of the year. And he lines one to center for a single. Grace is aboard, and Sammy Sosa will be the batter. Activity now in the Cubs bullpen.
This guy's just a hitter, just a pure hitter. The more I watch him, the more he reminds me of George Brett. The way George used to, on any stretch of games, always got his 2 hits no matter what was going on around him. And Grace is going to call it a night.
Pedro Valdez comes on the pinch run for him. That's Mike Perez throwing in their bullpen. Sammy Sosa takes it low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. So Grace is through for the night. 2 out of 3. Rifled into left field. Back goes Klesko. He won't get there. It short hops the wall. And runners are at second and third with nobody out. Sosa, a solid double. Leo Gomez will be the batter.
The good thing about this is that Steve is trying to just throw strikes. He's got a huge lead. May have telegraphed that changeup a little bit. And Sosa was right on it.
Gomez has grounded to third and tapped 1 to the mound. The runners lead at second and third. Low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Balecki getting ready in a hurry. Down low. 2-0. It's over in Boston. They beat Oakland 16-4. First final of the night. Three and 0. He's getting himself in a mess here.
Well, he's pitched such a good ball game. You don't want to spoil it with 1 bad inning before heading to the training room.
Swinging away, deep short. Belliard cuts it off. A run is in. That's an infield hit. Down 14 runs. You swing away 3-0. Well, it worked. I guess I'm getting old, but I don't understand some of the stuff that goes on today in baseball.
No, I don't get that one either. Bobby Cox is not going to let Steve labor too much this inning, and it looks like he's going to get him.
And Mike Balecki will get the call here. As Balecki comes on and Avery departs, we'll break away for this.
These receptions when he came out of the ball games last year, rough year, outstanding effort tonight. He gave up 5 hits, only 1 run so far, but he's going to give way to Mike Balecki.
$29,984 paid here. Once again, I beat Joe in our, I guess, the attendance pool.
Well, you only missed it by about 1,000.
Yeah, you were off by about $5,000.
Yeah, I was a little short tonight.
I know you've been under a lot of pressure. First and second, nobody out. A run in. Avery, 6 innings, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 run to this point. The runners on base, his responsibility. Balecki, a former Cubby. Amari Telemaco pitches against Greg Maddux tomorrow.
That's his middle name, is Amari. His first name's Cal.
Calamari, folks. It's a little Joe Simpson humor there. Scott Service is the batter and hits the ball hard up the middle. Out there. Beautifully done. 6-4-3. Runner at third. 2 out.
Nice play, Rafi. Nice backhanded flip to Lemke up high. If he has to catch it low and raise up and worry about the runner, he may get nailed. But a nice feed helped start that double play.
So Ozzie Timmons stands in. He is grounded to third and fly to right. Fastball up and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
Tell you what, if Balecki can get out of this, he hasn't worked since May 11th. He is suited for this role.
Actually, he's had breakfast with a hockey team.
I heard about that.
That was funny. He'll tell you about it in a minute. 2 balls, no strikes. High drive, deep left center field. Dye on his horse to the track at the wall. He's got it, hangs on, and the inning is over. So Bilecki gets out of it without further damage. Didn't exactly fool him, but he got him out. A run on 3 hits. 1 left. Bottom of the 7th. 14-1 Atlanta.
When you're sick or injured and can't work.
In at first base, Brian Dorsett is catching, and Mike Perez pitches to Eddie Perez here. Doug Jones, an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, a strikeout, a homer. 14-1 the score. Ground ball headed for left field. That's through. Second hit of the day for Eddie. We have not treated their bullpen too kindly. Didn't treat their starter too kindly either.
No, and talking to Jim Ergelman before the ball game, that's one area he said had been a very pleasant surprise for them this season. They didn't know what to expect out of their pen, but it's been pretty good for them most of the time.
Rafael Belliard stands in with a runner at first and nobody out. Bilecki will hit for himself. Rafi skies one down the right field line, but that's playable. And the first out of the inning. Valdez stayed in the game to play right field, we see. And he made that catch. It's like spring training. Here's Bilecki.
Mike hadn't hit a hit all year.
Has he batted?
0 for 1.
0 for 1. No, what happened to him in Philadelphia? We stayed at the same hotel as did the Florida Panthers, and the hotels loused it up. They left messages for the wrong team, that there was a team breakfast between 9 and 11 Mother's Day morning in the hotel. Most of us got a message that it was a mistake. Mike didn't. He had his folks with him and went breezing into the... Here's a bunch of guys in sports coats with no teeth. 2 balls and a strike.
I was surprised to find they weren't Mark Lemke.
That's right. 3-1. They're pitching very carefully to Mike. And he walked it.
He's an eagle eye.
I think Bilecki was a little surprised that was called ball 4. But undaunted, he trots on down to first. Here's Jermaine Dye, who's batted once. Flied to very deep center field.
I hate to
Pat
say
Corrales
this.
pointing the way to second base to Bilecki, so you go there next.
Yeah. But the way things are going, for the young guys, Dye could make it an even uglier score.
Breaking ball, just missed. Ball on the strike. That's Amari Talamako tomorrow. He pitched great for the Cubs in his first start.
All kidding aside, he's a hard thrower.
The 1-1, high top right side, out of play. There's tomorrow's pitcher.
Charting tonight's game, do you think he's real excited about what he's seeing?
Caramba. 1-2 pitch. Line drive, right field, base hit. Perez will be held up and the bases are loaded. The hits just keep on coming. Good to see Dye hit one the other way.
He did that a lot in spring training. That was one of the things that really impressed me about this kid. Had some doubles down into the right field corner, I recall. Bites this ball off a little bit. It was down and in, and shot it in the hole.
So the sacks are full for the Limmer. 1 ball, no strikes. Up the middle, gets through. 1 run is in. Bilecki will stop at third. That makes it 15-1. Save some of them, boys. You might need them tomorrow.
Another one in the hole, too. Perez couldn't knock it down. Neither could Ryan Sandberg.
Well, it's going to be an enjoyable dinner with Dad after the game. I think I'm buying this one.
Yeah.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Chipper has had a pretty good night. He has scored 3 runs. He's driven in 4. He's 3 out of 4.
Think there'll be any holy cows expressed tonight?
Maybe a little stronger than that. Might be holy mad cow tonight. Tap toward first, fair ball. Service gets it to the pitcher. A run scored. 5th RBI of the night for Chipper. His 34th of the year.
Career high.
And here's Tyler Houston, who hit his first major league home run his last time. His only trip to the plate tonight. 3-run homer. 16-1.
He's really patient, too.
16 is a high water mark for the year for the Braves, and runs 15 against the Giants back in early April was the previous mark. 19, the most hits against the Phillies back on May 11th. Braves aren't going to want May to end. Fouled away. Ty at third, Lemke at second. Strike called, outside corner, 1-2. Brian Klesko would be next.
Sorry, Skip. The Braves' best May ever was in 1986. They went 18-10. If they win tonight, they'll be 13-4 with 9 to play.
Two. Let up, little blooper. That's going to fall, and 2 more runs should score. Five RBIs and 2 at-bats for Houston. A 4-run inning again. 1 in the first, 7 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, none in the fifth, 3 in the sixth, 4 in the seventh. That's a total of 18.
And I think most people that are getting this story across the wire probably figure this game's being played at Wrigley Field and the wind's blowing out.
Not much wind at all. There's Klesko. He has 1 hit tonight. Fast strike at the letters, 0-1.
The thing that was bothering Jim Riggleman, you saw his expression in the dugout, is that everything the Braves are hitting is either going in the hole or dropping in. That can be awfully frustrating.
Bob Patterson, a left-hander, begins to throw in the bullpen. Fastball high and away. 18-1. Wow. Runner at first, 2 out. Up and in, it's 2-2. Dwight Smith waits on deck. A long night for Jim Riggleman and his troops. Pop foul back and out of play. Still 2-2. Brett Butler has his surgery tomorrow.
One of And wish him well.
We sure do. At Emory University Hospital tomorrow. So when you hit your knees tonight, folks, you might think about Brett. Foul to the screen with Houston running, still 3-2.
Ryan finished that swing very high, one-handed, and he kind of moving his shoulder around like he might have overextended himself a little bit on that follow-through.
Well, we don't need another injury. Things are going too good. Inside, he walked in. Second walk of the inning.
Here's the foul ball Ryan took a hack at. Watch the finish. Remember, that's what got David. At least Ryan was able to swing his all the way around. David's did not go all the way around. It got stopped. That's what caused the dislocation.
Strike to Dwight Smith. I wonder what the most runs we ever scored in a game was. We can look that up.
Right here.
Well, we got a ways to go. Well, that was back in 1883. 30 of them. Down the left field line. Timmons on the run in fair territory. Makes the count. 9 men go to bat again. 4 of them score. It's 18-1 as we meander on to the 8th inning. And a quick look at the other baseball. John Mabry had a St. Louis homer. Colorado got one from Young. Barry Larkin hit a home run for Cincinnati tonight. Check that. It's still Mark Lemke at second base. My mistake. Ray Sanchez bats against Mike Bilecki. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Line outside again, 2-0.
Score tonight. The score at Boston, 16-4 over the A's. 10-1 Baltimore over California. Those are like aluminum bat type games.
3-0. Come on, Mike. 17-run lead. Since 1900, the most runs scored in a game by the Braves. 23 against the Cubs in September of 1957. The Braves won that game 23-10. First game of a doubleheader.
On their way to the World Championship.
Yeah, that was the Milwaukee break. High pop foul coming back. Joe Simpson has a beat on it, but it comes up short.
Speaking of aluminum bats, I think the pairings were made today for the College World Series regionals.
Georgia Tech made it. I'm happy to report.
It.
Congratulations to them. Looking at a good program. The 3-2. He walked it. Hernandez will be the batter. Bilecki issues his first pass. Hernandez appeared as a pinch hitter in the 6th, struck out, stayed in the game. Now we're going to get a runner at first for Sanchez. Todd Haney will come on. They still have Brett Barbary and Luis Gonzalez on their bench. Bilecki comes set. Hernandez waits. Line drive right field on the run. Dwight Smith running catch. Good play. He's made a couple good plays out there tonight.
He's been a busy guy.
Top of the order, Brian Dorsett comes to the plate. The catcher hitting in the leadoff spot.
Todd Haney pinch running at first base, product of the University of Texas. A guy that was a product also of the Chandler baseball camp in Chandler, Oklahoma. If you've got a youngster that wants to go learn a little bit about the game, spend a couple of weeks playing nothing but baseball, that's the place to go.
Did you go there?
Went there as a kid. Was a counselor there for a couple of summers. And I think it was invaluable to me as far as the experience I gained Not only playing the game, but learning a little bit about things, too.
Just missed the outside corner, 1-1. Dorsett hitting .091, 3 out of 33 on the year. Does have a couple of RBIs. Letta missed inside. 2 balls and a strike. Three and 1. And Dorsett out of Terre Haute, Indiana. The 3-1 pitch, here it is. Swung, ground ball, left field, base hit. 2 on, 1 out.
Terre Haute, Indiana, home of Tommy John.
Here's Ryan Sandberg. He's gone all the way in this game. Bilecki in some 8th inning trouble. No action in the Atlanta bullpen. 6 or 8 walks, 14, 15 hits, 3 or 4 errors, and they'll be right back in it. Sandberg, a notoriously slow starter in the prime of his career. Now, after missing a year, he's off to a slow start, but he's hitting with some power. He has 9 home runs.
And that's what Riggleman was saying about him before the game. He said, if you just look at his average, you say, well, he's not doing much. He said, but he has got some key hits for us. Definitely has long ball still in his bat.
2-0. Bilecki fighting his control here. The biggest winning margin for a Braves team was back in 1915 in Boston. They beat St. Louis by 19 runs. Lead by 17 here. There's a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. We'll be with you at 7:35 tomorrow, 1:05 on Wednesday. And then it's on to Pittsburgh. Two and 2.
Greg Maddux against his old club will be working tomorrow. He was 1-0 against the Cubbies last year in 1 start. Went 9 innings.
Why aren't we televising Sunday?
3-0 lifetime.
Oh, there's an automobile race. Line drive, left center. That's going to fall for a hit, and the bases are loaded. Runners had to hold up to see if that ball would be caught. So Bilecki's in a mess. And Pedro Valdez will be the batter. Valdez out of Puerto Rico. Hit 300 in Double-A ball last year at Orlando. 7 homers, 68 RBIs. Brett Barbery is now running at first for Sandberg. Pedro Borbon gets up in the Atlanta bullpen, just in case.
That's about it for them and players, isn't it?
They got Luis Gonzalez left, and he'll pinch hit next. Everybody gets a letter tonight. Bases loaded, 1 out. Home run cut, but he came up empty. Valdez has just batted twice, and he has failed to hit. Takes it down and in, a ball and a strike. He was called up May 15th when Scott Bullitt went on the disabled list. He was hitting .339 at Iowa. 8 doubles, 2 homers, 13 RBIs in 31 games. Having a big year.
And just 22 years old.
1-2 the count. That's what Andy MacPhail and Ed Lynch have done. The Cubs farm system has for years been in really deplorable shape. And that's where they have focused a lot of their attention. They're good baseball people. They'll get it turned around.
They are. Valdez had a good year last year at Double-A. .300 average, 7 homers, 68 RBIs.
He's out on strikes here. First strikeout for Bilecki, and Gonzalez is the hitter.
Good breaking ball. May have been a little bit of just a straight changeup. Took a little off anyway and got a big out.
I've always liked this Luis Gonzalez. He came up in the Houston organization.
It's turned out to be a great trade for the Cubs.
He'll probably be in the starting lineup tomorrow. The right-hander on the hill. You can see he's having a big year.
I think he was held out tonight just because his numbers against Avery have not been very good.
Really spreads out in that batter's box, doesn't he? Bases loaded, 2 out. 0-1.
Only 1 for 15 lifetime against Steve, so he got the night off, but having a good year. Gonzalez and Scott Service came over from Houston for Rick Wilkins.
Wilkins had a disastrous year last year, much better this.
Yeah, had a bad elbow surgery.
High drive, left field, everybody chasing it. Plesko on the run, slides, and comes up short.
He's gotten into a habit of that, and now it's hard for him to break it, and that really slowed him down here. Watch, if he keeps running, he catches this ball easily. But by going into that slide, it slowed him down. And the more he plays out there, the more things he'll begin to figure out when to dive and when to slide for balls. But I think he could have caught that ball.
Yeah, if you just keep running. That slide is a good thing to develop, so you save yourself from serious injury near a fence. But that time he was not near the fence. 0-2 the count. High and away, a ball and 2 strikes. So we'll televise for you Friday and Saturday from Pittsburgh. Sports South will have the Sunday game. Ernie Johnson Sr. and Tim Brando will call it.
Saw Ernie the other day over at the John Sherholtz golf tournament for Yes Atlanta. Raise money for inner city projects for the kids. Of course, Ernie was handing out all the awards for team championships and naturally had to give some to me.
What I really like about you is your humility. That's, I think, probably your strongest suit.
Kind of the second year in a row I've been over there at the Sherholtz tournament, kind of racking up trophies, gear.
Yeah, it was nice of you to bring them to display them at the ballpark the next day. We all appreciated it a lot. The 2-2 pitch. Swung, hit up the middle. Belliard, what a play. Gets it to second in time, inning over. The Braves absolutely cannot do anything wrong. Super play by Belliard to save 2 runs. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 3 left. Bottom half of the 8th inning with your score. Atlanta 18, the Cubbies, you know. In to play second base, Todd Haney's at shortstop. Or is it the other way around? No, that's what it is. And Bob Patterson is on to pitch. Eddie Perez will lead it off. He's 2 for 4. He scored 2 runs and driven in 1. Jeff Blauser a solo home run, 1 for 2 tonight. Plesko 1 for 4 with a walk. McGriff 1 for 2, a 2-run homer. Tyler Houston 2 for 2, 5 RBIs, a home run included. Chipper 3 out of 5, 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Lemke 3 out of 5, 3 runs scored, 1 RBI. Grissom 2 out of 3, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, 1 RBI. Jermaine Dye 1 out of 2, a run scored.
Haven't done much other than that.
No. The left-hander into the line. Check swing. He stopped it. 1 ball, no strikes.
Bob Patterson's been around a while. He turned 37 a few days ago.
2-0. The Fighting Fish lead the Reds 5-3 after 7.
Reds led that game 3-0, didn't they?
2-0, I think. There's a strike, 2-1.
Story on the wire earlier tonight. Some quotes from Jim Bowden of the Reds claiming that he was going to shake that club up. They didn't start playing a little better. Met with Ray Knight and his coaches before the game tonight.
I don't know. It's none of my business, but I think there are a lot of people in that organization that talk more than they should, starting at the top.
No question. There have been a lot of distractions for that club.
Top foul back. Can anybody get there? Negative. And the fans battle for the souvenir. Big Braves fans, Jim and Janice Doley, about here at the ballpark tonight. And the 2-2 pitch. Foul back again, still 2-2. $29,984 to pay attendance. Perez is making a lot of people happy as he keeps sending souvenirs into the seats. Yet another. Nice catch by a fan with a Brad Plant's haircut. There's a Rogaine candidate. But I think his is self-inflicted. The 2-2. Pop foul back this way.
And yet another catch.
Another catch for Joe Simpson. Joe's trying to find a likely candidate. Two balls, two strikes.
What would you do without me?
Continue to duck. Hot shot to third. That'll be easy. Whoever's playing third base throws him out. That's Leo Gomez. One away. Here's another look. See how I hung in there?
Surprised they could see you. After you were under the table, you quickly got yourself above ground so you could see what was going on.
Don't use the words under the table around me. Went out, nobody on. Rafi Abidani swung the first pitch and fouled it off. This might be the night.
They might be out of baseballs before we get to the ninth.
Yeah, we had a question about that on the talk show. They rub up 100 balls and use between 80 and 90 ordinarily. Casey Stevenson tells us. This one may stay in play for a while. Let's see. Oh, 2 pitch. Upstairs, 1-2.
Rafi tonight just to
Muscle up.
just spin on that back leg, fall down swinging. Oh boy, almost.
He had a hack. Bilecki will hit for himself. And Bourbon may still come into the game. This is a spot where using a pinch hitter would almost be like rubbing their nose in it. One ball, no strikes. Game isn't over yet, but the winner's Avery. He's 5-3. The loser's Castillo. He's 1-6. I guarantee it. Smoked, fouled on the right side. Javi Lopez has the bullpen duty tonight, warming up Bourbon. He'll doubtless be back in there tomorrow. The Braves catching tandem has worked out very, very well.
Yes, it has.
Mike, have the decency to take another pitch, and let's get on with this.
Just hack away.
He's out of there, and the inning is over. So Patterson works a 1-2-3 inning, and that is the first 1-2-3 inning of the ninth. Where you go to the ninth, things look fairly good. It's 18-1. To pitch for the Braves. Most of the crowd is headed for the highway, confident that they have witnessed a Braves victory. Leo Gomez leads off the ninth. Hot shot, one hop to Chipper. There's the first one in inning number 9. Scott Service is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times. Has nothing to show for it. Braves have been good tonight. They've also been lucky. Balls off the end of the bat. Outstanding defensive plays by the Atlanta team. But it takes all of that.
Sure does. It's all got to work together, and there's those nights where you hit line drives at people.
Another starting pitcher tonight, Avery. 6 innings, no walks. Braves starters average 1 walk almost every 6 innings a game. It's like 5.5 innings.
So you better hit them. They're not going to give you anything.
0-2 the count.
That last ground ball to Chipper. I mean, you hit hoppers and choppers to Chipper. Not going to have much of a chance.
Chipper's been a ripper tonight with 4 hits. Fly ball right center field. Jermaine Dye is going to catch up to that one. 2 down. Boy, it'd be some rally if they got back into this one, wouldn't it?
An all-timer. Jim Ruggleman thinking about his young rookie who made his first big league start 5 days ago and wondering how he might react tomorrow after seeing this.
That's a great thing about baseball. It's just one victory, and it doesn't matter whether it's 2-1 or 18-1. And it is mercifully over. 1-2-3, nothing doing in the ninth. And the Braves romp a season's high 18 runs, and they win it 18-1.
And our AutoZone player of the game tonight is Tyler Houston, who hit his first Major League home run. But not only that, he had a 2-run single in the 7th inning, 5 RBIs in all. Congratulations to Tyler. He's our AutoZone player of the game, and we'll be back to give you all the totals right after this.
I can't believe I'm losing my hair back here.
Anyway, they are on quite a tear. They've won 11 of their last 12 at home, 13 of their last 15 overall. Avery, the winner, 5-3. Frank Castillo loses his 4th straight, and he falls to 1-6 on the year. 29,984 here in a game that was merciful, and it was only 2 hours and 27 minutes long. And the Braves have now played 44 ball games, and they have never started a season 29-15. At least they hadn't until now.
18-1 the final. We'll be with you again tomorrow, 7:35. Greg Maddux will pitch. Coming up, an Andy Griffith doubleheader. First, the Andy Griffith Show. That's followed at 10:35 by Matlock, The Legacy, which, of course, also stars Andy Griffith. For Joe Simpson, Pete Van Wieren, Don Sutton, our entire TBS crew, Skip Carey from the ballpark. So long, everybody.